Hey, as you may or may not know already, 1 year ago I was banned on one of my RuneScape accounts that I really loved playing. And, well, I guess this is a bit of an update since I've kind of just disappeared for a year. I'm still around, you know, but as much as this is just to update people on what's been going on for the past year, it's also for me to just put a lot of thoughts that have been brewing inside of me just out there, and hopefully try to move on from it and just escape the cycle I feel like I've somewhat been trapped in. So, for a bit of context, my RuneScape account was entirely falsely banned. I never have done anything wrong in the game. And that account has somehow managed to get banned multiple times. And I suspect that the reason it keeps happening is that it happened once, so that makes the account a likely repeat offender or whatever. So yeah, just 10 days into playing the account, I got hit with a ban, and I think that what I'm currently dealing with is just a consequence of not entirely restarting those hundreds of hours that I already put into the account at that time. There was no reason for me to be banned at that point. I've done the exact same things on other accounts and absolutely nothing. I just trained fishing. Maybe a bit too overzealously, and I also suspect that I created the account and then I moved for work. So they suspected that the account was hijacked or something to that avail. But we'll never know, unfortunately. I really should have just restarted the account after that first ban, but I already paid for a good amount of membership on it, and I also have hundreds of hours of progress. It's not exactly that easy of a choice to just get rid of hundreds of hours of progress and an ongoing membership. But yeah, regrettably, I didn't. And I really should have in hindsight, but I didn't know that at the time. I still feel like I did the right thing. And this is kind of an ongoing issue if you're not in the RuneScape community, that it's practically impossible to contact anyone for customer support if you get put in this situation. So I'm definitely not the only one in this situation, which is good, but also a bit depressing. Because just a little bit of background in general fraud detection, like in finance, from what I know, my somewhat shallow background in fraud detection and anomaly detection and whatnot from my machine learning studies. Ooh, fancy. Is that generally when you aim to detect fraud, you need a pretty significant human element to back it up. You want to be slightly overzealous with the false positives and then back it up with human review. And the big problem with RuneScape's bot detection system is that many things, but in this regard, is that there's no human element involved. You just get automatically flagged as a ban, and then you have zero recourse aside from being famous. Like, there's multiple examples since I've gotten banned, or at the same time I've gotten banned, of folks with like over 100K subscribers on YouTube who has that stuff figured out in less than an hour. It's kind of absurd. Obviously, this makes a lot of sense because content creators for the game and people with that much of a following will be a PR issue if they just let that happen. But if you're someone like me, or probably the few 100 other people in the same boat, you don't matter. They're probably hoping that you just give up and move on with your life. And I haven't been able to. It's so hard. I've just been trying so much to try to resolve this because it feels so unfair. I'm like, there has to be some bit of justice in the world or something. I don't know. It's wrong, and I want to right a wrong, especially if it's leveraged towards me. And also to continue enjoying something I still deeply care about to this day. Something I'm deeply passionate about. I wouldn't have put like 10,000 hours into the game, 6,000 hours lost on that account alone, if I didn't care so much about the game. And all of that passion has been put towards various things, just trying to get unbanned. I've done so much. I can't say that I've done everything because there's a lot you can do, but I've done as much as is reasonably possible and still is a good idea. Like, we're not talking about going to RuneFest, buying tickets to fly to RuneFest to try to get this solved. Spending that much money and time for something that, in all likelihood, will just never work. Or, I could go on for days and days about ideas I've had that are bad. But yeah, the things I've done, I've written handwritten letters. I've done the whole social media song and dance. I'm not very good at it. I don't really use Twitter, and you kind of have to be good at Twitter to know how that thing clicks and whatnot. Man, I don't have any followers. I don't have enough followers. I mean, I don't know. I've written a handwritten letter. There was a thing in the terms of service. Hey, if you're unhappy with how we've handled your case, then you can just send us a mail to the customer service complaints team. So I did. I waited a month and absolutely nothing. I sent them an email about it, and they said, we don't have one. We don't have a customer service complaints team. But that's probably not the fault of the person that's replying to me. But like, come on, it you know, I've done so much more than that as well. I feel like for the first couple of months, I just kept trying things and none of them worked. I was just putting all of my passion for the game to try to get towards getting myself unbanned, and nothing worked. All of my efforts were going into a void, and that's so depressing. It feels like I can care about something so much, and it's just gonna get sucked into a black hole, and probably, like in the case of that letter, literally straight into a shredder without anyone reading it, or maybe someone read it or skimmed it and was like, yeah, I'm just gonna toss this. I don't know. I did think about getting my friends, the people who are in my clan. Shout out to them, by the way. They've been super awesome throughout this entire thing. To maybe just also send a bunch of letters, but this is my thing. This is my problem to deal with. I don't want other people to put in effort knowing that it's probably just going to go straight into a shredder. But I don't know. Maybe if you want to help me and if we still want to try, even if there's a tiny, tiny percent of it working, we could all get together and just write letters towards Jagex. Maybe if we address it to the right person. I don't know. I'm rambling. If you're curious to learn more about the whole false bans thing in RuneScape, I do recommend Hanani's video that covers it pretty in depth. But yeah, this sucks. I haven't been living, and that's a pretty deep thing to say. But I think I kind of mean it. Now, what I'm very grateful for is that the things in my professional life I've been doing quite well at. My career's going along. I've been staying very healthy and just taking care of myself in general. But in terms of like leisure time, I don't really do anything anymore. Nothing that I care about. It's somewhat hard to become attached to the things you do anymore if one of the things you did just stabbed you in the back and like it makes you realize you have a bit of perspective that maybe nothing matters. Nothing I do for fun matters. That the more you care about something, the worse it's gonna feel when you can't do that thing anymore. And obviously, I don't want to think like this. I've been trying to enjoy things again, start doing the things I love. I haven't touched my saxophone in like half a year now. Uh, well, to be fair, previously it was only like a once a month thing. But beyond that, just the games I play. If you notice me streaming, that I've kind of just stopped. Here are some graphs of the past 7 years of how much I've streamed in the mid June to mid June range. The past one being like a tenth of COVID times. Ah, that's kind of absurd. I mean, to be fair, I was already kind of dropping off going into it, but what really sealed the deal was me getting banned. I definitely plan to stream quite a bit during the summer, but that did not come to fruition. And now it's summer again, and I just haven't gone back into regular streaming, which I love doing. I think I still love doing it, but it's really hard nowadays for me to be in a mentally correct place to find enjoyment out of streaming. I don't know. But yeah, mostly just showing this to as just a symptom of how things have been going, which could be a lot better, but also could be a lot worse. It's not just streaming that I've lost interest in. I feel like I've lost interest in everything. And I'm not entirely sure why. Part of it was what I mentioned earlier, is kind of being scared to start enjoying things again because it's only gonna hurt more when you can't do them anymore, right? But that's such a dumb reason, and I've been trying to get out of that rut, but I just haven't been able to. But hopefully, talking about it, just even if no one watches this video, I think having all of what's I've been dealing with the past year in some kind of tangible form will help me just package it up and help me find closure and move on from it. But that's far from a guarantee. So I very much appreciate everyone's continued patience. I've been trying to make things get better, start living life, loving life again, loving doing things again. But it hasn't been going all too hot. So yeah, I hope things get better. I think it'll take time and work, of course. I don't know how much more time, but eventually I hope to get better. Start enjoying things again. Things I used to enjoy. Getting back on that STM hunt. Practicing Coda, unfortunately for RuneScape, I can't get back on that. Well, I do have two other accounts that are primed for like endgame content, but my heart isn't in the right place for those. I don't know where I'm gonna place all of my love and passion for the game that I have still, but maybe I can find some kind of creative outlet when it comes to that. I don't know. What I do know is that I really want to stop putting all of my efforts into a void because that's essentially what trying to get unbanned is. It's like everything you do, nothing happens. It just gets sucked into a void. You don't even have the privilege of getting any kind of response at all. And I quite foolishly thought that putting this much passion and care into getting unbanned, ironic as that sounds, would lead to something, but no, it's nothing. They don't care. No one cares that you care. The only thing that matters is that if you're famous enough, and I'm not, so it's over, or you get really lucky, of course. But I haven't been lucky, and I kind of just trusted that the system would work very foolishly. You idiot. Why would you trust Jagex support being notoriously terrible? But the thing was, like, when I got banned, a bunch of other people got banned too. Probably extremely, extremely likely that most of the bans were legitimately applied, but there was also a large chunk of falsely applied bans, definitely, because some of them actually managed to get removed. And I was like, yeah, if a bunch of other people are in the same boat as me, then, like, surely things will be fine and I don't need to be a nuisance about it. I was wrong. I should have just been a nuisance from the beginning. I think I do need to be a bit more selfish. I'm very uncomfortable asking other people for favors like that. Like, hey, please like my tweet on Twitter. Oh, that feels so disgusting. Like, favorite, subscribe. It's for more STM VODs and written up guides. I don't know. I wanna I wanna be back. I want things to be back to normal. Where like normal is just where I'm doing things that make me happy. It's been so sad. I've been dragged down by this entire thing, and it's like so sad hearing about all the other terrible things that are happening in the world. I don't want to bloat this very rambly talk more than I already have. But yeah, it's just so sad to see just all the terrible things that are happening in the world, all the horrible situations that people get put in that they don't deserve to be put in. Like, obviously, compared to that, my issue feels extremely tiny, but it still matters a lot to me. And I really wish that just things can be better for everyone. And I think I can do small things for that. If I just make one person's life a bit better, then that's fine. But I'm not doing that right now. I need to take care of myself first, so I gotta learn to be a bit more selfish or something. And then I will have the capability to see how I can make other people happy and maybe deal with one less bad thing. I don't know. Okay. I want to get better, and I think just having this record that I can go back to and listen to myself is a good comparison point to have to see how far I've come since I've recorded this right now. And if you're listening to this, a bit of an update if you've been wondering what I've been up to, how I've been doing, since a lot of people care about me. And that's very heartwarming to think about. That if I'm going through something, that there are people who are just going to reach out, which is very cool. that's that's amazing. It may not make me famous. I'm still not famous enough. Not enough people care about me for it to matter. But at least in Jagex's eyes. But like, what really matters is those close and small connections. That matters a lot to me. Well, yeah. Past hasn't been all doom and gloom. There has been some things that I've managed to do. Um, 2023, after I got banned, was pretty absurd in my travels. I got to see a lot of amazing things, got to meet a lot of amazing people. Just a fun tidbit about that is, let's see, like, the past probably, like, I don't know, like 15 years, I've never been to an aquarium, maybe even more than that. But in the latter half of 2023, I visited 3 different aquariums. Not only that, they were all like world class aquariums in different countries. Isn't that absurd? That was an absolute blast. Like, 2023 legitimately had some of the best times I've ever had in life, some of the happiest I've ever been, but most of it was just sad and being down. But at least there's that. At least I can take that with me. Yeah, I've been playing a few mobile games, mainly Project Sakai, the Hatsune Miku game, and I set myself the goal of getting 300 expert full combos, and I hit that a few months ago, which I'm very happy about. And I don't really have any concrete goals in that game at the moment, aside from just play more challenging things and get better, which is a very satisfying place to be. Just feeling pure improvement and playing for no other reason aside from pushing my skills. So that has been pretty fulfilling and satisfying. I've been playing Genshin Impact on my phone as well, and I've been going for all achievements. I have a lot of bad things to say about the game, but there's pockets of enjoyment that I can find in the game here and there. But yeah, the main thing is that the game expects you to play on a certain schedule, and that is super lame. I just don't bother at all. It's like, hey, I want to play this right now. It's like, no, you can't. You gotta wait like 2 days. But also don't wait too long because you won't be able to play it anymore after 6 days. Not to mention all of the atrocious and manipulative monetization tactics and engagement tactics. I don't bother with any of that, and that's really the only way I can enjoy the game. I'm not playing a game if I don't want to play. It's that simple. And if I want to do something in the game that I can't do, then I just won't do it. It's not that big of a loss. But that sucks. There's like a lot of things I actually do want to do in the game, but I literally can't do it aside from a window of a few days. And like, just let me play video games whenever I want to play them and do what I want to do in them, right? I think I've gone on enough about that, but the projected time I will finish 100%ing all achievements is about 3-ish months because of one single farming achievement. It's the equivalent of getting like 99 farming in RuneScape. There's really no way to rush it. But yeah, if you were here for the Grudge Store for this past Condor season, which unfortunately conflicted with something quite important, so I only could participate in like a week or two. But I was there in full force for Grudge Store at least, and you may know that with the help of Frumpy4, my crossword solving buddy and friend, that we made a dang crossword, both of us, for the first time. We've never done anything like that before. I just had the crazy idea after seeing the Game Jam theme to go out and just try it, and it was tough. There's a lot of roadblocks. People who make crosswords are giga chads. But yeah, we somehow managed to get something out with the help of each other, just collaborating, working out the kinks, and seeing what works and what doesn't. And the end result, I'm very very happy with. Just working on that was just made me so happy and fulfilled. I was so motivated, and I want to find just constant motivation again to do things instead of just pockets of it here and there. But yeah, if you want to solve that crossword, it's for the Condor community. There's a lot of inside references that you might not get if you aren't part of the Condor community. But if you are, I can link that below as well. I've been playing a lot of games with my girlfriend, and that has been an absolute blast. You may have saw the Cook Serve Delicious 3 streams. That's a game I used to stream. What was it? It was the summer of 2018, where I played quite a bit of Cook Serve Delicious 2 and I streamed it. But I never got around to playing 3 until then, and it was an absolute blast to 100%. And one more thing, there's a lot of other stuff as well that I've been up to, but I wanna do more. I wanna do things that I find fulfilling without being scared. Yeah, I've also started playing Warframe like 2 months ago, and I've been having a blast with that. I think I'll definitely go for Mastery Rank 30 someday, which is pretty much just the end goal. After that, you go into the Legendary ranks, up to Legendary 4 at the moment. But I'm definitely enjoying the game and the gameplay loop and the grind loop enough to go for MR30 someday. Currently MR19. And it's quite refreshing to find a game with where the developers are so in touch with the community. I got a lot of that out of old school RuneScape as well, so it's nice to find something else that also has a player focused approach and open lines of communication. Yeah, a bunch of other things as well, but I think I've gone on enough. Oh, quick shout out to Trackathon, hosted by Rastats. That was an absolute blast to play for. Played like, what, 15 hours straight of Trackmania or speedrun races. Ugh. I want that to be the norm. I want to be that motivated regularly. And just find fulfillment in doing things like that without needing extraordinary circumstances to incite me to do it. I can keep talking, but you can listen to me when I stream sometime this summer. Fingers crossed. It could take longer than that for me to find motivation to start streaming again. My SSD died like last month as well, and with it, all of my OBS settings for audio and overlays and everything is gone, but that's no big deal. I just need to download Necrosans again and then put things in the right spots. That's fine. The audio's gonna be a bit more of a problem though. I did have quite a lot of filters on to make things sound the best they could. But yeah, hope to talk to whoever you are sometime on this stream. Feel free to just DM me directly if you want to talk. Check in how I'm doing and talk about yourself. I don't know. It's not the if if I hear someone say like feel free to DM me, I'm just never gonna reach out. I'm not the one to reach out, but I don't know. Maybe you're the type of person who feel like reaching out or show up in Twitch chat on one of my streams that I hopefully will have. Fingers crossed again. But yeah, thanks so much if you're listening to this and if you've been there to support me in the past year. It means so, so, so much. And you just thank you. Thank you for continuing to be patient. And I don't know how long it's going to take for me to get back to being closer to who I was before I was banned in RuneScape. But I very much appreciate the continued patience that you will give me as well. Yeah, I don't know. I have to end it somewhere. I could just keep talking about this, but That's what this is all about, isn't it? It's about moving on. So, here's to moving on. Love you all. Thanks so much again. And hope things are going well for everyone. Things may be hard, but you can get past them. I can get past this. I know I can. But yeah, see ya later. I don't know when later will be, but hopefully it'll be soon. Bye bye.